Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. And again, kind of continuing a tradition, sort of breaking away from tradition, I'm going to be featuring a non-Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Let me fix that. That's going to bother me. And what we're going to be featuring today is a tribal build of elves that I've had, oh, geez, for about 15 years. And I think this deck has remained pretty unchanged in that time. So just to get it out of the way real quick, I think it's like 17 forests. Let's just count them up real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I was wrong. It's going to be 15 forests. And again, I've had this deck since forever. So I've got like some foil lands from forever ago. A couple Zendikar, well, maybe just a couple Zendikar full arts. Some stuff from Kamigawa. The first time round, because I've seen the neon Kamigawa stuff. Looks really cool. But again, yeah, low count on the land. And again, for those of you who know elves, you guys understand like why that is. But this is a very fun. I don't even know if this is considered modern or anything, because I really haven't been playing and keeping up with Magic at all. So this is just something fun I used to do. The first thing we're gonna have looks like I've already sorted this. Very good. I'm going to use 2 copies of the creature spell Bramblewood Paragon. So this is going to be an elf warrior that's a 2/2 on 2. And then each other warrior creature that I control comes into play with an additional 1/1 counter on it. And additionally, each creature I control that has at least 1/1 counter on it also has trample. So nice static effect, nice little buff as cards are coming into play. And if you guys don't have dice, you might as well go to like the bank and get a bunch of pennies, because the amount of counters that we're going to be able to put on things throughout the course of this deck just gets insane. So there's those. Next up, we're going to play 4 copies of Elvish Visionary. And again, you guys can see I have like the Friday Night Magic, like promotional, really cool thing. Again, it's just going to be a 1/1 on 2. It's another elf. When it enters the battlefield, it's a quick draw 1. So again, something that I didn't do a lot of back then was playing card effects to draw. So this ended up helping me out quite a bit, many matches over. Next character I played, and I love this. This leads into a type of mana loop. I was using 4 copies of the Heritage Druid. Now it's just a simple 1/1 on 1. But it has the static effect, and since it is a static effect and not an actual like tap to activate, I can go ahead, I can cast this into play and just immediately go ahead into the effect. Allows me to tap any 3 untapped elves I control to add 3 green to my mana pool. So again, if you can find a way to tap and untap your cards, this is going to go great, as well as once you have like a bunch of like token proliferation or propagation. Some big fancy $3 word that means you create a bunch of tokens. This card really comes in clutch, really helps you out with your mana production. So it's just a nice elf. Speaking of those, we need one. So let's talk about the Imperious Perfect. And again, we are going to run the full play set. Do take note that this is a warrior. So if that Bramblewood Paragon is already in play, which it should be because it's a turn sooner, this means that the Imperious Perfect will have a 1/1 counter plus trample. So it's already going to be a 3/3. Each one states that all other elves that I control get a 1/1. If all 4 are out, they each get a 3/3 bonus from each other, and every other elf will be up 4/4. And then again, if they were warriors, they're going to get that extra counter. So again, we're going to get the math on our side. Additionally, we do have a tap effect here. 1 mana, 1 green mana plus tap out equals placing a green 1/1 elf warrior token into play. So again, you get all 4 of these plus the Bramblewood, plus you start activating this effect. It's going to be great. Plus, after you get enough of these tokens, the Heritage Druid is going to go ahead and help you just manifest more mana and really get into playing all your spells very easily. Next up, and you guys are going to laugh at me for the condition and the age of some of these. I do play Land of War Elves because, guys, it is a 1/1 on 1 that taps for 1. And it's just perfect. You do need to maximize this. There was another version of it, and for the love of me, I cannot remember what it's called. if you guys remember, go ahead and hit me in the comments section. But it's another 1/1 for 1. We use it in Commanders. This way you have 1 copy of Land of War, 1 copy of it. Same effect, same stats, same everything. I just don't play them in this version of the deck. But you could. You guys could totally do that. But again, just a quick mana producer. And it's a quick 1-drop. So again, between those and the Heritage Druids, you're pretty good. The next thing that's really awesome is using the Nettle Sentinels. These are going to be Elf Warriors. And these Elf Warriors are going to be 2/2s on 1. So again, if we have a Bramblewood Paragon in play, get the extra 1/1 counter. Then they have Trample, plus if the Perfects are in play, additional 1/1 per Perfect. So these guys stand the chance of getting like super strong, super quick. And this is part of the mana engine. These do not untap during their controller's untap. However, whenever you play a green spell, you may choose to untap them. So if you can get 2 or 3 of these into play, obviously 3 would be best because then you just tap all 3 of them due to the Heritage Druids effect. And then you get 3 green mana. You spend any amount of it. You could spend 1, play a Land of War Elf, untap however many Nettle Sentinels you have, and then you could keep tapping and just generate just bulk mana this way. Very good, and it's really like one of the core portions of the deck. Again, we do need something for a little bit of draw power. So back then, I found this elemental called Regal Force, which is just amazing. It does cast on 7, but again, this is green. We tend to ramp up the mana very fast. It is going to be a 5/5 elemental, which is still not bad. When it comes into play, I will draw a card for every green creature that I control. Now, creatures can be tokens. Tokens are creatures. And again, if you go back through to any of the token spewers, let's talk about this. It is a green Elf Warrior token. So again, it will have a mana identity. This will allow us to draw bulk portions of our deck at a time and really lay into being able to use our mana engine, gathering the other Nettle Sentinels that we need, and so on and so forth. Next up, we've got to use some old school Wood Elves. I love these. They are a 1/1 on 3, but when these come into play, you search your deck, your library for a forest, place that in play. It does not go in play tapped. So that forest is now usable. This guy is now usable as far as our Heritage Druid is concerned. So again, it's not only going to ramp once, it's going to be technical ramp twice. Super cool older card. I love it. I think this has had more recent prints than 8th core, but who knows? I don't. I really haven't played in forever. Next one is really cool. We're going to talk about the Ren's Runs Vanquisher. And again, this elf is just another Elf Warrior. So again, we can get all those power bonuses. Plus, it's an elf, so you get all those other bonuses. It's going to cast on 2 for a 3/3 right off the rip, which can immediately come out as a 4. As an additional cost to play this, you must reveal an elf from your hand or pay an additional 3 generic mana. Again, we are only going to be creating green in this deck, so whatever, just pay an extra 3. So then it would be a 3/3 on 5. However, we do get Death Touch on this card, which makes defending so much easier. Whenever you defend or deal damage to a creature with Death Touch, the other creature is destroyed regardless of damage dealt. So if this 3/3 goes up against a 1,000,000, we still got it because we got Death Touch. So just how it is. It's a great card. I definitely recommend playing it. Next up, we're going to go into like the sorceries and the tribal instants and stuff. Not a lot here. We are going to run a playset of the Gilt Leaf Ambush. This is going to count as an elf spell. So for the counting of tribal and needing a certain percentage of the deck to meet that demand, these do help. When you play this instant, you get 2 1/1 green elf warriors into play. You also clash with an opponent. If you win the clash, your tokens gain Death Touch until the end of the turn. So again, this is very good for defense. When you clash, and again, we get the nice reminder text here, each clashing player reveals the top card of their library, places that card on the top or the bottom. A player wins if their card had the higher converted mana cost. And then, of course, it's got the reminder text for the Death Touch. What is the converted mana cost? For those of you who are just Yu-Gi-Oh players watching a Yu-Gi-Oh channel that for some reason has a Magic deck on today, it is this number up here. and we just turn it into one solid generic number. So 1 green plus 2 other is a converted 3, which would make that Regal Force a converted 7. And even though the Wren's let me try English again. The Wren's Run Vanquisher, even though it has a cost in the effect, it's still only a converted 2 because 2 is what's up in the top. So mana, land, if you were to pull a forest or something that plays off of no mana cost, that would be a converted 0, just in case you didn't know. So still good. We do need our tribal sorcery that's going to give us the largest pump of characters. And this is really one of the spells that makes this deck worth playing, is the Elvish Promenade. Now, it's a converted 4, so that's fine. Tribal, again, just to keep my elf numbers, pretty high up, so this way I can play more other cards if I wanted. The effect, put a 1/1 green elf warrior in play for every elf you currently control. So if I have 25 characters, tokens and or cards that are all elves, this is going to field check, say that I have 25, generate another 25, then I'll have 50. So if I play the next one, it'll field check, it'll say that I have 50, so it'll create 50, now I'm at 100, so that'll be 200, that'll be 400, and it really gets crazy because, again, with the Regal Force and the fact that we're able to use our Nettle Sentinels with the Heritage Druid and maintain the excess mana. So again, what I'm saying by that is you play the Bramblewood Paragon real quick. You still have a floating 1 because you used 2 of the 3. So you keep the float 1, retap your 3 cards. Now you have 4. Then you play something that's on like a 2 like this. So your 2 out of the 4 brings you to 2. Trip tap again. Now you have 5. So you can keep raising the mana count as long as you don't change your phases, at which point the mana would drain, I think. Or maybe that's just at the end of the turn. Again, it's been a minute. But this will allow you to be able to play all of the large spells. And the Elvish Promenade is definitely one of those. 2 other cards I like to use. They're basically the same thing, but they're definitely not, is Overrun and Overwhelming Stampede. Now, Overrun is brilliant. Creatures I control gain 3/3 trample. And Overwhelming Stampede has a beautiful effect. So the way I want to play this is I always want to go Overrun into the Stampede. And just check this out. So until the end of the turn, creatures I control gain trample and XX, where X is the greatest power amongst my characters. So if I've already increased my power and I've got all these Imperious Perfects, so if we've got the 4 Perfects, we've got a Paragon, every token's coming in as a 5/5. If you generate somebody who's bigger than that, that's fine, but let's just go with the base 5/5. Let's talk about the Overrun. So now that would be an 8/8. If that 8 is the largest one that we have, then we play the Overwhelming Stampede. It'll check for the 8. Now everything else gets another 8/8. So the 8s are now 16/16 tramplers. But again, you can create hundreds of tokens in a round. So again, this is really like your game stroke move. That's how you want to go for the game. Now, again, based on the time period I play this, Planeswalkers were a thing. So I do run 2 Planeswalkers. This will bring this deck up to 61 cards. If you guys want to take one out, go for it. I'm going to try his name. I've never really heard him pronounced in a different way. We've always called him Garrick. So I don't know if that's Garrick or Garuk. And honestly, I don't want to offend anybody, but he's a very cool Planeswalker. He's like a tribal hunter and just general like BA. And the way these work, these basically summon next to you as like an extra character. They have these things called, I think these are loyalty or devotion. Basically their hit points. And they have effects that will modify their hit points. So again, they both cast in on 4. Garrick will allow me to untap 2 lands, again, allowing me to get into more mana. On a -1, I can get a 3/3 beast creature. Again, it's going to be green, so that's going to help for the Regal Force. And for 4, he is an extra copy of Overrun. So again, Garrick, very cool card. Now, Nissa Ravain, one of the, I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 elves. There may be more now because I haven't played this in forever. that were planeswalkers. So obviously she was one of my favorites right out of the get. Search your library for a card named Niece's Chosen. We're not playing them, so skill 1, you dead to us. Skill 2, gain 2 life per elf we control. Now, in my earlier instance, we generated like 400 characters, so this would mean that I can gain 800 life. So as a Magic player, you could, as a Planeswalker, go up against a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist and actually do something kind of crazy. It'd be great. The -7 effect is like the finisher move here. It's actually pretty cool. Search your library for any number of elf creatures, place them into the battlefield, shuffle your library. It is literally Elf Armageddon. And if you get to that stage with Nissa Ravain, just, oh wow, it's going to be crazy. So honestly, she'd be great in Commanders too. But that's it, guys. That is... I don't know what to call it. It's just my my 100 elf deck. I don't know. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you have, I'm going to be doing a couple more elf builds before the end of December. And again, just kind of like a weird throw to Christmas, since Christmas has elves. I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Content tomorrow. Obviously, if you did enjoy it, do the things. If you don't want to do the things, don't do the things. Guys, go out and have a wonderful day. Hopefully, I'll get to see you guys next time. See you later.